Interesting that Blizz messing up is what got me to try FFXIV. Yeah, a lot of people have echoed that sentiment, and so that's relevant actually to what I wanted to watch right now from JustRuss, who has been playing a lot of FF14. He came from World of Warcraft. I also came from World of Warcraft just in a long time ago, back in Heavensward era. So I was like in one of the early waves of WoW Andes that got into the game from it. So that's why I feel like I have a tendency to relate a lot to people who are more recently coming from WoW, because that is also my background. Yes, 3,000 years ago. Yeah, we were in the Oceania server. It's pretty great. Okay, so let's check it out. This is JustRuss video. I quit WoW and played FFXIV for 100 days. Here is my thoughts so far. Oh, okay. There's spoilers in the main story quest. I think I might skip that part. It says spoilers, and so I usually try to avoid streaming spoilers. So I'm gonna skip that part, and I'll link to the videos, so if you want to watch that part, you can. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm gonna avoid that. I appreciate him marking that section of the video.
And this comes kind of as well. It's like twofold. Era sucks. Just got to get through era. It's only up from here. And it just dropped my expectations so low, because I was like, well, I mean, it sucks, I guess. So, and then I kept like finding these kind of like glittering moments in it, like, oh, I really like that. I really like that part. And I think that like having my expectations low and exceeding them was just like far better than the opposite happened with Heavensward. Everyone's like, just wait till.
Man, I in some ways, I'm glad that when I started the game, like I was not plugged into social media at all. Like I was not. I did not look at anything related to the game online. I only played the game when I started. I wasn't doing YouTube yet or Twitch. I didn't know what those things were. I just kind of minded my own business and played the game, and I'm kind of glad about that, because I feel like nowadays it's probably annoying as fuck that like if you tell anyone that you're in Realm Reborn or that you're about to do Realm Reborn, you're gonna hear some guy who's like, "Hey, okay, but just what you need to know is that it's kind of a slog, that Realm Reborn," and you're like, okay, but can you tell me like what job I should pick? Well, I can, but just, you know, you're gonna need to get to Ishgard first, and Realm Reborn is gonna be a slog for you to, you know, trudge through before. Okay, but that's not what I asked. Can you can you tell me like about, you know, what's your favorite race to play? What race should I pick? Well, I like Viera. Before you can play Viera, you need to go through Realm Reborn. Realm Reborn is a slog. Like, there's so many like, oh my god, I feel like it's so fucking annoying that people just will not shut up.
Heavensward's gonna be amazing. There's all these cool
things. Like, it's just like, let it. I think people need to like chill with it.
It's like, and then people like linking it as well.
Heavensward is so
good.
I
stream all my gameplay as well, so I've got like a little bit of a different kind of playthrough stance than a lot of people have. You know, if you're just playing it by yourself, like I'm also on camera, I'm also reacting, also like people are watching, you know, how I play the game, and I only play it on stream, like I said. So you can like tie it in. People are like, oh yeah, you know, like this is when like viewership will pop off and things like that. So you're kind of like thinking in your brain, like, oh god, I need to make Heavensward count. I need to make sure I'm fully there in the zone every time. So you got a lot of different factors kind of come.
That's good though. I mean, it just shows that, you know, you care about the stream, but also on the other side of the coin, I remember, what is wrong with me? I remember doing Shadowbringers on stream, and then I got to the really emotional part at the end. You know, the climax of the story at the end, the last fucking quest. And for some reason, I'm like, you know what, guys? This is really emotional for me. So I think that I'm not going to stream the last part of Shadowbringers. Yeah. We got this far, and thanks for coming along for the ride. I can't believe I did this. I really did. I'm like, but you know what? Now that we've reached the final cutscenes, I'm just feeling emotional about it. So I think I'm gonna do this on my own, and I'm not gonna record it even. I'll just do it, you know, on my free time. And we'll talk about it later. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I do not know. To this day, I struggle to comprehend just what what was going through my mind.
Coming into play, and I think that caused me to have like really high expectations for Heavensward. As I said, it's not over yet. I haven't finished the whole thing, but for the base, where I felt like I could separate A Realm Reborn into like the base game and then the patches, like 2 segments, and my whole like base journey was really awesome. Possibly a lot of that was like honeymooned because of the Sprout and all these like, oh, first time this, first time that. I felt like my stream for the end of A Realm Reborn, like my celebration kind of stream, was like really crazy awesome.
That's so nice.
You know, it was like you do Castrum Meridianum.
So are you telling me that you actually had a good time in Realm Reborn? Oh shit. Oh no.
And then you go straight into
Wait, you had
like,
fun.
Ultima, which
I thought it was it's supposed to be a slog. Tell us how it's a slog,
one of my
Russ.
favorite trials, because I think it's been reworked.
No.
Also Cape Westwind as part of that as well. It was just like back to back to back to back awesome things happening. And like for me, then I was on this like really big high. And then I came out like base Heavensward, and I was just like,
that's not the official
right.
opinion.
Like, I thought the Asian Prime thing was really cool, by the way. That fight was awesome. I almost forgot about that until just now.
Actually,
Asian Prime
true.
thing was really cool. And then
Underrated
just
stuff.
like that's the thing. Thordan sticks out in my mind so much that like I almost put everything else kind of to the side, right? Like
that will
I don't
never
get
change.
to remember the whole thing, just like all these positives. I'm just like, I just got like a little bit soured by Thordan. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts so far on the story.
And that's the one thing, like, even when you're done with the entire story, you are never going to stop thinking about Thordan. Like, that's just a fact of life.
Anyone that was interested in that part.
I think about Thordan every day.
I
think about Thordan when I brush my teeth. And I think about Thordan when I fall asleep. And I think about Thordan when I start my car. And I think about Thordan when I go to the store.
Already going on a little bit. Just to like some of my favorite things and least favorite things about the game so far. I feel like no kind of here's my thoughts.
That's normal and healthy.
Today's video would be complete
I
with
know.
like reiterating what I do like about the game specifically. Obviously the story is, you know, its thing. And then some other things I've got is like the community. Obviously as someone coming over from World of Warcraft, it's absolutely still night and day difference.
Really?
Mentality wise, like I feel more positive, I feel more energetic. You know, I'm basically surrounded by positive people, which makes me in turn feel more positive. Coming over, you know, in stark contrast to WoW, where there's a lot of negativity. You just have to look at basically anyone who plays retail WoW, look at their tweet history, and you will see what I'm talking about.
I mean, look, you can absolutely find it if you want. Like, if you want to find people who are negative about FF14 all day, every day, you can find it. Those people are definitely out there, but nobody's gonna be like that around someone who's new to the game. Like, I feel like even the most jaded, negative people still tend to be really supportive and kind to someone who's a new player, because like it's just sort of like it's a sacred journey that you're on. Okay, so like, but I mean, I always say that it's not like these people don't exist. They're all over Twitter, and they're all over Reddit, and they're all over the forums. Like, JustRuss, do not go to the forums, okay? Whatever you do, please do not go to the general forums.
Just type.
Please don't.
Retail WoW into Twitter, and you'll probably see all these terrible like hate threads and stuff like that. Just like
stay pure.
The same way as positivity surrounding me in this game, negativity in WoW obviously made me feel pretty terrible as a person. It was making me cynical and depressed, to be honest.
Every game has, yeah, look, everything has haters in Twitter. Yeah, like, yes. Like, God Almighty could come down from heaven and say, hey guys, Sorry I was gone, but I'm now here to bring paradise and everybody can be in it and like everything's going to be okay now and I'm getting rid of all the suffering and everyone will have all the money and like all of your needs will be met and I'm going to take care of everyone now, right? Like this could happen and there would still be a shitload of people on Twitter who would be pissed off about it and telling God to eat shit.
Of all that. So obviously I love that about the game. The whole all jobs in pardon me, all jobs in one character, that massively resonates for me. I've gone into this in a previous video. I do have a couple other, if you like this style of video, like talking head kind of videos where
I
just
do like
ramble
those
my
kinds of
thoughts.
videos.
All jobs in one
I
character.
love those kinds of videos.
I just love that I can play every single class, every single job on the same character.
It's so good.
And I'm like on my War of
But the
Light.
War
Like,
Within, man, the War Within, they're gonna let you kind of, well, no, not really, but close.
for me personally, my War of Light is great and very special because she's an aura. She's a aura base, but I have Fantasia now and then. I have, you know, sub goals on stream and things. We spin the wheel of Fantasia. So I've had many different faces on my character. She has been
Have you tried Bunny?
Lalafell more often than probably a lot of you would like to know. She has been Elizon.
Bunny?
Female Elizon. She's
Have you
been male Highlander. She has been Cat
Bunny?
Boy, Cat Girl.
Bunny?
Still got a lot of different ones. We haven't landed on the Fantasia wheel yet, so
God!
I'd probably like to try out every single race eventually.
Why haven't you tried the Bunny?
But yeah, like I love that I have my Warrior of Light, and she is.
God, you list every race but Bunny.
All my memories are on that character. So, like, no
Please.
matter which face she's currently wearing,
won't
which
say it.
race she currently is, which
It
job
is.
I'm currently playing,
Won't say
I'm doing that all on like one encompassing character, and it's like
All right.
all my memories, all my playtime consolidated onto her, which I think is awesome.
Everyone
Something
does that.
obviously that WoW didn't offer me. Have to make.
Because if you try to do it on more than one character, you're going to be in for a bad time. It's like, it's good. You have all this stuff consolidated on the one character, but also you really don't have another convenient way. It's probably the most all unfriendly game ever.
You know, to play every single class and spec, you have to make like 13 or 14 characters.
That's
level them
true.
up
That
13 or
sucks.
14 times,
That's so annoying.
gear them up.
It's so
13 or
annoying.
14 times, which I suppose you probably do still have to do in FF, but you can at least acquire the gear.
You don't have to
when you're
redo
on,
the
like,
same quest.
Aura, you can acquire some Dragoon gear, for example, right?
Yes, yeah. It's way better.
So that's
It's way better.
really, really awesome. Still love that about the game. And then the scaling down of old content. Personally, I feel like this is somewhat of a like magnum opus that FF has. I don't know how it works in other MMOs, but as a WoW player, veteran,
What do you think about it?
This is like completely alien to me. We only really have like time walking
Time
in World of
walking.
Warcraft, which is like on a rotation. It happens like once a month for a week.
But
and
it
it's
has good
very
rewards.
shoddy. Like the scaling's bad. The play, like
But
the
the g-
replayability is pretty bad.
what?
Just the participation is pretty bad.
What?
There's not really that many good rewards. There's obviously not good rewards for like scaling down and going back and doing calls of Bahamut.
I wonder if rewards are become a bigger problem the more time that you spend in a game, right? Because for me in FF14, I have almost everything already that I would want. Like I've been playing long enough that I have collected all the stuff that I really, really wanted to have, mostly. There's only a few things left. And unless they add suddenly a shitload of new rewards, it's like they're always going to be kind of playing catch up, which is the reason they need to add a shitload of new rewards. But I kind of do feel like that. Oh, Nebebe, thank you for the 22-month resub.
Not like you can get glams, but people just
Yes.
wanted to do it for the challenge because we could when I did it, right? Like I made a static for that with my viewers, and we did it blind, minimum eye level, and all that. So it was really, really, really fun. One of my highlights, and it kind of leads me into my next point as well about blind rating, which I'll talk about. But just like the fact.
Yeah, like for me, I really, really don't like level sinking down. I really don't like it at all. But it's because like, I would like to hear his opinion after getting really comfortable at max level with the max level rotation and then going back to being level synced down, and suddenly you have like 4 buttons or 3 buttons, and like it's just, you don't get to play your job the way that you've learned to enjoy it the most with all your new stuff, it just feels punishing.
That exists.
So I'm
And
not a big
like,
fan of that.
I just feel like it opens up so much opportunity, right? Like infinite replayability. You can go back if you're level 90 and go and play with like your friends. Like, you know, all my viewer base are level 90 and they come and play with me, a noob, a sprout. Like they can just scale down and we can go do something. We can go do a trial, or we can go do a raid or something like that. So same thing I'm doing Alexander Savage at the moment, right? And just the fact that you can like
Savage?
have maybe like a little bit of a watered down rotation, but it's playable and some people find it fun. For me personally, I'm an enjoyer of less buttons most of the time, so for me it's fine. Like then I can focus on like experiencing the content in its whole kind of thing, right? Like quite a lot of the boss fights are very cinematic, like the transition and the turn 13 when you're facing off against Bahamut. Like that's
I mean,
that's
that's
an
a good
experience.
that's
So
a
if
good
you're pushing
example.
less buttons and
That's
stuff like
fair.
that, you can really focus on the atmosphere of those raids, which I personally enjoy. If my stance,
I would rather have more buttons though, and I think I can also focus on the atmosphere while having more buttons.
and that will change in 2 years' time, who knows? But that's where I'm at. You know, now 100 days in, just over 6 months, like real time. 100 streams I've done. Like, well, I think I'm on like 110 now. But yeah, I do think that that offers you a lot more that you can just kind of do on a daily basis. You know, you can pop on and be like, I'm bored. I've done all my end game stuff for the week or month or whatever for all time for the rest of Endwalker or something, and be like, I'm just gonna look through Party Finder or find someone that needs help with something. And
That is
just
a
go
fun thing to do.
because I can scale myself down. I think that's
Yeah,
a
helping
nice
people
touch.
out in Party Finder is great.
And then blind rating, as I
That's great.
mentioned. Blind rating, interesting, very, very interesting. Something I've never really had any experience to.
You can be the hero that comes along to save the day for people that have been waiting for hours for someone who fits your description to show up and help them finally clear the thing that they've been waiting so long. They just needed you. They only needed you to do it. And then you show up and you fucking ruin it. I mean, that's what happens if you're me. You know, I imagine that I'll be, you know, and then a hero comes, and you know, but then I get in there and they're like, oh my god, it really would have been better if we just like maybe had another person swap to tank or like anything but have Zepla in here.
Doing in World of Warcraft. If you didn't know, the etiquette in WoW is kind of watch a guide or get out. So turning up and being on the same, I mean, I think just in general, playing with people on the same wavelength of you is the most important part. So like having like-minded players is obviously the biggest thing.
Right.
So if you've got 7 people who want to play
Yeah,
blind
that's
and one
true.
person who doesn't, that's not really going to work.
That's true.
So I do like the idea that there are like acceptable groups which are just like show up, we'll work it out together, we'll have a good time, and I think that's really, really nice. I've had some experiences with.
But you also never really know what a person is what they're actually doing. You know,
doing blind trials where everyone
they could be using Cactbot and you wouldn't
in the
know
group
about
know
it.
what to do, and I don't. So they're all kind of like I say, please guys, like let me do it. Don't just carry me through it, because I want the experience of, you know, piecing it together, working out the strat and stuff. And they kind of just have to sit there muted and be like,
The hydrate.
yep, we'll just have to sit here wiping till Russ gets it. And I don't like that as much because it's like all on me to like solo come up with the strats. What I do like is blind rating with other blind people. So right now,
I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I just don't have the patience for it. I will watch the guide so fast. Like as soon as anybody has come up with a strat or the guide, I want to fucking know about it. Like the simpler, the better. The more brain dead the strat is, the better the strat is, in my opinion, because then I'm thinking less about what to do and then more about how to do it. Like I can only think about one thing at a time. I just do not have. I only have one brain cell.
Doing Alexander Savage. I'm in a party, like I've made a static again from my
It's
Discord,
people that do it blind. I'm so impressive.
They are 7 of us are blind, and one guy did them like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. I think when it maybe when it was current, and he just sits there and does this thing, but he kind of like plays dumb, like he acts dumb as if he doesn't know the mechanics until we are like, okay, you go, you know, this is your assignment, go do this because we've worked something out. But like cooking up the strat with the other 6 people who are blind, now that's really fun because we're all like throwing ideas in, spitball and this and that. Maybe what if we try this? And then it's really good because you have other people to
That's
bounce off
impressive. That's impressive.
with these
I can't
tactics,
do
which
it.
I think is really, really fun. Definitely much
I
more.
think I can't do it because I'm lazy. And I think if I weren't so lazy, then I would apply myself more. But it's like, it's hard to apply myself knowing that I could just look at a guide if the guide exists. I just can't stop thinking about the fact that the answer, I could have just Googled it and found the answer. So it demotivates me from wanting to actually figure it out myself. I'll give you an example. It's like the time that I went hiking up a really steep like mountain. I went hiking and it was so difficult and it was so like exhausting. And then I got to the very top and it was beautiful. And I look behind me and like I'm seeing this overlook and it's incredible. There's ocean, there's mountains and stuff. And then I look behind me and I see a fucking parking lot. There was a road that could have drove on to just fucking drive to the top of the mountain so that I wouldn't have had to walk and sweat that whole way. And like that made me feel like, wow, what a waste of time. I could have just got in my car and drove to the top. It's like, yeah, it's kind of that. I don't know. That's just how I am. And I was with someone. I was with someone, and they're like, "Oh, but it's still so wonderful that we did this walk with our own, our own strength, and we got stronger, and like this is it's a fulfilling experience." And I'm like, "But there was a road up here to the."
More fun than
God.
just like coming up with
I'm
stuff
just
by
lazy
yourself.
as hell. I guess
know
that's
how
all it
often
is.
it is at endgame that people do that, but I like to think that it's an option as long as you find 7 other people that
The
are
router
happy to
agrees.
do that and happy to be like, yeah, this might take months. Then I like.
That's true. I am kind of doing it with Elden Ring. Yeah, that is true. I wonder why it's different. Because I guess there's not a lot of strategizing I feel like I need to do in Elden Ring. I just need to, fight better.
Like that's a thing because it reminds me of like about as close as you can get to like race to world first rating in World of Warcraft, where you're just kind of like coming up with strats, looking over your death logs and combat logs and stuff like that. So that's cool. That's cool. I really, really am a fan of that. And then a couple other small things like that I just enjoy about the game. The music. So far, I can't think of like a bad piece of music that I found. Just a little extra bit of immersion there.
Is there a bad
putting it all
piece of
together.
music?
I love like
In
these
FF14?
like melodic background.
Yeah. Okay, there's one. There's only one well, there's 2. Okay, I think there's only 2 in the entire game that I would consider to be, not good. One of them is the remix of Oblivion that plays in Eureka Orthos. And the other one is the new version of that song in the Beehive in Yulemore. So, like, the first version is really sick. It sounds like Persona, and then you do a quest and it replaces it with a song that's like oh my god, I hate it so much. So those are the only 2 songs that I don't like, but everything else is a banger. Yeah.
Like zone pieces that you have and like the daytime nighttime shift and stuff like that. Really, really nice. Like my favorite zone was like, I think it's called the Churning Mists.
My version made it sound better. Oh my god. Thank you so much.
Remember going in there and it was nighttime and it's like heard this like really nice kind of like piano recital going on. Go check it out. Type it in on Google or YouTube after this video. Churning Mist nighttime theme. And just sit there, close your eyes and let it wash over you. That piece of music is just amazing. Like and just seeing like going from zone to zone and zone and like you're like, ooh, this is a hidden gem. This one's kind of a banger. Or like, oh, this one's like really calming and stuff. Like just pulls me back in the game.
Let me check it right now. Oh man. Oh man. That is good. Oh, it's good. Oh yeah. Oh, he wasn't kidding. Oh, it's so great. Wow, it's really good.
Game, kind of the same with like mounts and stuff. Like it just like refocused me on the game all the time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of all the things I like. There's a couple other things I have written on my list, like the frequent events that we have. Currently, the FF15 event. Got my regalia, by the way.
Oh,
Thank
good
God.
job.
Now I can chauffeur people around. But yeah, silly
Best
things like chocobo racing, maps, fishing, ocean
multi-seater.
fishing, all that kind of stuff.
Fishing.
Yeah, I could probably make an entire another
Are you
video on all
fishing?
of these silly things that I love
Is he fishing?
spending time on.
I mean, fishing makes you waste a lot of time.
Which is another reason why I take my sweet time going through the MSQ, because I just love I just like to play the game and enjoy playing the game, and I don't want to sit there just like rushing the MSQ like a lot of people who come over to the game in general, but particularly from WoW. They like rush the MSQ, they get like the big surge of viewers from the stream, and then they fall off hard. I'm just kind of immersing myself in the world and the universe and the fan base and all that stuff, and I'm just kind of enjoying the game, showing people that I enjoy the game, enjoying the game.
I'm really
with
glad.
people.
That's great. What a great attitude.
Be a better long-term kind of game plan for myself mentally.
That's fantastic.
And also the lifespan, I suppose, of like my content, as like my channels, like my stream, my YouTube and stuff like that. So
you've seen yourself
that's kind
as
of where
dedicated...
I'm at with the game. There's a couple of things that I don't enjoy. It's literally a couple.
Hell yeah.
And I already talked about one of them, the kind of janky mechanics. I feel like they could have been done better. But I'm going to put that down to Heavensward raids and ARR raids being like them finding their footing. I've heard in Stormblood onwards, the raids are like peak all the time. So I'm going to put that one under the rug. And the only other thing that I could be critical of is the the tab targeting. That is pretty dog shit, to be honest, especially in PvP. I've had bad experience with tab targeting, especially coming over from WoW, which probably has like one of the best, if not the best, tab targeting in any MMO from what I've heard. So that's a bit of a sting.
Straight up, just click on the enemy list.
That's literally the only thing
that's what I've been
so
doing.
far I can be critical of in my personal experience. I've obviously heard about the whole toxic positivity and you pull at your tank it and you didn't pay my sub and all that kind of stuff. I've heard that in like videos I've reacted to, but for me personally, I haven't experienced them, so I'm not going to sit here and judge something that I don't personally have experience with myself, right?
Okay, but you will.
That's pretty much where I'm at. I know this video got a little bit long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, sorry that I haven't put one of these out in a little while. If you made it this far in the video, though, drop a little alu in the chat or come on over to the Twitch live stream, twitch.tv/JustRuss. As I said, I stream all my gameplay. I only play on stream, actually, maybe like 99% of the time. Sometimes I've logged on to like sort out my inventory or something off stream, but like all my actual gameplay and stuff
good video
is on stream.
It sounds like it's pretty dedicated.
Come on over there. There's a VODs channel I mentioned, which everything will be linked in the description and a pinned comment and stuff. So feel free to come on over there.
It's taking its time with it.
Yeah, I'll try to do videos like this more often. Let me know in the comments as well what you want to see on the channel. If you enjoy the kind of like stream kind of condensed versions of like, you know, my time spent, with, like story moments and things like that. Anyway, this has gotten way too long.
Okay, so 7 months ago, I took a chance on FFXIV. It turns out it changed my life. I've started my first playthrough of Final Fantasy. Nice. That's awesome. Well, I'm really happy to hear that. Overall, he's having such a great time with the game, but also has been taking his time with it and really trying to immerse himself in the game. And like it's clear that he has a real passion for it and isn't just like trying to race through story. Like he is taking time with the raids and doing the blind prog and all that. Like that's pretty impressive. So I'm looking forward to see his progress through the game. That's always great to see like new people who are excited about the game and wanting to make content about it. I feel like FF14 kind of lacks content creators. We need more people making content for the game, so it's always a delight to see more people enter the arena, the area. Oh my god, I cannot think at all today. I'm so tired.